but not live on YouTube.
Well, I mean, we'll be live on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
vaguely in the future.
It'll be on there eventually. Hi, John.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, what a great start! What a cough! I'm
We
falling
are both
apart.
struggling.
You were coughing up along, and then I'm choking on burps, and
Yeah.
it's not great. Oh, okay, hold on. Welcome to Nashville SC Purgatory, where we don't know what's gonna happen. We might beat the best team in the league one week, and then lay an egg to the worst team the next week. Who fucking knows? All things are possible through Price is Right, who strengthens me. John, our special guest, how you doing?
I am doing okay, I guess. I have, as you can tell, I have ended my personal. I'm not wearing MLS apparel because they fired Gary Smith.
Yeah.
But they haven't brought anybody in yet, and I don't like that. So
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do or when, and I am getting progressively more impatient. Not like in an angry way, but like just do it.
I feel like I'm trending toward the angry way.
Okay.
Of like, he's been gone for a month. They didn't have a game this past weekend because of the international break.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time to bring somebody in. And now you look at Atlanta has let go of Gonzalo Pineda. Dallas has let go of Nico Estevez, I think was their manager.
Mm-hmm.
So like other theoretically more attractive jobs are opening up.
So like, what's the move here? Like, I don't know who. The name I saw thrown around the most was BJ Callahan, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to feel more and more unlikely. Not that it was very likely in the first place, in my opinion. But like,
yeah,
I and usually when it comes to like NSC shit, like players or what have you, I'm pretty informed. I feel pretty out of my comfort zone here with, figuring out who we're going to bring in next or what that even looks like.
Yeah. It's upsetting because I feel like there's no predictability.
Yeah.
Because there are two people who I feel like have the ability to make this decision.
You
is if only.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Mike hiring a career MLS guy? Or
that seems like the most
Ian?
likely option.
But is it going to be Ian saying, "We tried your way, it didn't work. Let me bring in somebody from Europe"?
Well, I feel like if Ian was going the route of "we tried your way, it didn't work," he would have also gotten rid of
Mike.
I
mean, fingers crossed.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, we are in Nashville SC purgatory, where literally, you tell me any outcome will happen by the end of the year, and I'll probably believe you. You could give me the worst case scenario where we lose every game, players are leaving, whatever. I might believe you. You can give me the theory where we, pop off and we make a run to MLS Cup. I'd probably believe you. I mean,
really?
Look, and I know it's against Cincinnati, who is a rival, whether they like to admit it or not. But like, we played well against Cincinnati, one of the best teams in the league, right?
Right.
We looked good. The core of this team, when they're on and when they're, moving and grooving, look good. I've said this the whole time, is we have this perceived, not depth because it's the MLS and there is no depth, but like talent, like Hani Mukhtar, star, right? He's dipped a little bit this year, but he's a star. You have Sam Surridge, you have Walker Zimmerman, you have Schaffelberg, whatever, Godoy. Like, we have the parts to be competitive, and we've been competitive with these same parts in the past.
Yeah.
So you give me any outcome that may happen this year, and I'll believe you. Sure, whatever. We're in purgatory. We could go up. We could go down. I don't know.
How much down can we really go? Like the vibes are still at a they're not at an all-time low anymore, but like they're pretty low.
But the vibes aren't great. I'm not even talking about vibes. I'm talking about
Vibes are bad.
performance on the field. I'm talking about record, whatever. You can throw vibes in there too, but I don't know what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I truthfully, I come into this podcast today hoping we stumble into some good topics because that's all I have.
Yeah.
As a observer who's watched this team since 2013, who's watched every game, who's followed religiously, I fucking don't know that, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what are your vibes?
It's tricky because I feel like from a roster building perspective, right? You have to bring in a coach before bringing in more players.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to end up with like, I don't know, like half of the roster that Gary had, even though they brought in Gary's players.
Yeah.
Where he just tries to take a sledgehammer and put square pegs into round holes by any means necessary.
Yeah. I don't know. And I think a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is just going to be vibes and crowd shit and fan shit because on the field, I've got nothing for you. I just don't. One, we didn't play this past week. So there's that. And two, they did the most Nashville SC thing ever and go and beat the shit out of Cincinnati, who what are they second in the overall Shield standings at the time?
I think so.
Yeah. And I mean, look like Nashville SC of old, and then come out the next week against doo-doo garbage team and lose. So
I caught a lot of flack. I don't know if it was the New England game or not, but I caught a lot of flack for picking that we were going to lose in the Discord.
I didn't want to pick that we were going to lose, but I went into that game going, yeah, this is a thing we would do, is lose this game.
I don't know that there's a single game on the schedule with the way this season with the way last season ended, the way this season has started. I don't know that there's a single game that I would look at and be like, yeah, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
There's just not. I mean, part of that is the way MLS is, in that any team can beat anyone anytime.
Again, we're in this fucking purgatory where I look at every game and I go, I don't know if we'd win that. But then I look at it and go, I don't know if we'd lose that. Like, am I fucking wrong? Like,
no.
Literally any game, put us against, including, Miami with Messi and whatever, put us against any team in MLS and say, do you think you'll win or lose this? And I don't know. I fucking don't know. Because you could have Hani Mukhtar pop off. You can have Sam Surge get a hat trick. You can have, Schaffelberg go nuts. I just don't fucking know.
Speaking of Schaffelberg, I know you referenced him earlier too, but did you see in the jersey release the top selling jerseys in MLS?
Yeah, he's
13th.
10, 13
overall in the league.
And you know what that tells me? John, you know what that tells me?
That Nashville fans are insane.
Here's the thing. And whoever can say, if someone's listening in that front office, just listen.
Oh man, imagine.
We being Nashville SC fans are fucking psychotic. I got to burp. Okay, left that one in. We are fucking psychotic, right? We will latch on to whatever little nugget of serotonin you give us. Please, for the love of God, fix what's happening, because we want to go nuts. We want to be fucking psychopaths. Let us be We're awful this year, and we have the 4th, 5th, 8th. 8th. We have the 8th and the 14th overall highest selling jerseys.
One of those
on a jersey that we weren't necessarily stoked on as a fan base. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I like the jersey, but overall, we weren't necessarily stoked on it. And we're still 8th and 14th in player overall jersey sales. And that includes That includes
doesn't-
like Messi and Suarez and whatever that we're going to sell internationally, going to be 1 and 2 no matter what. So take those out. I mean,
it's 6 and 11.
Yeah. So we want to go fucking nuts. Fix it.
I think the thing that was most surprised, I wasn't surprised that Nashville SC had 2 of the top selling jerseys. I was surprised that it was Schaffelberg and not
There's gonna be Zimmerman.
I did. Yeah.
To be fair, I think Zimmerman last year, 1, he played more. He missed a lot this year. 2, he was riding all the popularity off of the World Cup and all of the commercials he was in or whatever. And when it's someone with that much, notoriety, and it's a jersey that is loved across the league and people wanted just because it had the Johnny Cash patch on it and it was cool. Like people outside of Nashville SC circles wanted it because it was cool. Yeah, they're going to get Zimmerman because he's the one they know, right?
Yeah.
Schaffelberg being in the top 15 or whatever it is, shows
fan behavior.
Shows me, it should show everyone else that Nashville SC fans are fucking nuts. And if you just fix what's going on the field, the vibes will come back.
How do you do that though? Like
I don't know, cheat maybe. give Hani Mukhtar a taser. Just I don't know.
I'm completely here for that.
We go down if we're down at half. Just give Hani Mukhtar. Have you seen those taser like knuckles? Like it's like brass knuckles, but there's like a taser on. Just give him those, and whenever they try to drag him down like they do every game, he just gives him one in the neck real quick.
Or there's this player on the field who has gloves.
Okay.
And you just put those in the knuckles.
We call that gloves. A goalie.
Right. You just put the taser brass knuckles in Joe's gloves. I think he goes to clear a ball.
Yeah, and you just side of the head. Yeah, I think that's the game plan.
Yeah.
So okay, what? Obviously, clearly, we've all seen it. It bounced back a little bit after Gary was let go, but the vibes in the stands have gone down a little bit. I think it's to be expected with the record we have and the way we've been playing. Like, if you look at the Gary Smith pass the ball around to, for 5 minutes and then launch it down and hope someone's there on the wing and they aren't. Like,
you mean back pass SC?
Yeah. And that's okay. And we've shown it's okay. That's okay when we're winning. But when we're losing and it for a while looked like the front office wasn't doing anything to fix it.
Yeah.
Noticeable drop. And it took much longer than it would for many other fan bases, but a drop in the overall vibes, right? What brings that back? It started to bounce back a little bit, but do we need to rattle off a couple wins in a row and announce a coach?
I mean, always. I mean, maybe not always announce a coach because that's unsustainable. But
every new coach every week.
Every other week is just Travis.
That's fair.
I mean, this team needs to be hard to play against at home, and right now they're not.
No.
And I do think there's more to the environment being generated, the ambiance of the supporter section. I think there's more to that than just the results on the field. But
it is hard.
I am not able to get into it. I'll say that.
I will. So I know, having been a part of it and having organized shit in the past, more in NPSLs when I did it, obviously, and that's a whole different animal than what it is now. But I know that it is difficult to create an atmosphere week after week. I know it is. I've done it. I've seen it. I've been in it. That was all. the way my professional journey with my what I do for work got started was with essentially starting a supporter section in college. I started a student organization that was a wing of the athletic department MTSU called the Blue Zoo. Most of what we did obviously was organizing, much like a supporter group, right? Literally the same stuff. I get it. It fucking sucks. I've delayed doing it. I want to find a way to help not just the roadies that I'm in, not just the assembly, all groups. I want to find a way to help raise funds and get money and assets like flags and whatever it may be to those groups to be pre-staged, to be used in the crowd. Obviously, that doesn't help with getting, more people singing or chanting or whatever. But I know for a fact, and I have a flag that I've donated that I use, but it is not exclusively mine. I have a flag that I donated to be used in the back line. I haven't got to go this year because I've been out of work, which thank God, start next week, I'll have money again, which is sick. But I know for a fact in that closet, a lot of times those flags are not even pre-staged. I will have to go hunt it down and find it and get it. And when I go in there, there's bundles and bundles of stuff that are not even pre-staged.
Yeah.
And I also fully understand and have dealt with the problem of those flags walking out of the stadium. And that sucks. And if you don't steal shit, whatever. But what's the point of having it? What's the point of it being in the drum closet and not staging it? If the fear is they're going to get walked out or whatever, they're not going to get used. It does no good being in the drum closet.
Yeah.
It's little stuff like that. And again, anybody in the back line watching this, if it goes to anybody, like, I get it. It's hard. And I can't just sit here and talk and not walk the walk. Like, I know, I get it. It's hard. And we're all volunteers, but it's little stuff like that I think can be critiqued and improved. Right. And this is not in a negative way. I'm not saying anybody didn't do their job or isn't, running shit properly. It's just something I've noticed in my time in Geodis and stuff I think can be improved.
Yeah. I definitely think there's a lot of things that we could pull from, I guess, the more notable MLS supporter sections.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the want is there. And this is I always feel like I have the need to specify, like, this is me talking for me. This is not me talking for any other entity or organization.
Yeah.
But like watching the supporter section from the corner, like as an outsider in that sense, like the want isn't there. Especially like for talking about flags and stuff.
Yeah.
I do know the backline just got a whole bunch of new drums that they're very excited about.
Yeah. Which the drum corps and those guys that bring, the music and the energy kill it every single game. Like, even if it's a lackluster atmosphere where, the game before Gary got fired.
That game fucking sucked and we won.
Sucked. But those
awful.
folks bring it every single week. And if I'm going to critique, I'm also going to point out where things are done right.
Well, you could say they're done right. I won't have an opinion about pre-staging because I don't do it.
Yeah.
So I as an adult, I try very hard to stay in my fucking lane.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of shit going on right now, man.
Yeah, and look. No matter what, like, regardless of team, regardless of league, regardless of sport, when the team goes down, the the energy goes down with it. It depends how much. I think where Nashville SC is at right now, fan wise, support wise, atmosphere wise, at its lowest, is better than a lot of teams' bests, right? A lot of you look around the league and the dry atmosphere of nothing's going on, it's all disjointed, and there's no really organization or whatever like that. A lot of the like MLS 1.0 teams, you'll see them have that kind of dip. I've never once, and I'm going to fire a shot here, I've never once watched a Colorado Rapids game and went, ooh, look, the atmosphere is cool. It's great. Like,
Yeah.
So, again, none of what I said or I'm going to say comes from a place of people are doing stuff wrong. It's more so trying to nudge in the right direction, right? And, like, personally, like, and I think I tweeted a while back about it, I would have no problem, and I have, because it's in the drum closet right now, I would have no problem donating from my, spare money, like $25 for a 3x5 flag, right? Or,
Yeah.
If we want to do more TIFO, I have no problem donating to a TIFO fund. I know that, again, easier said than done. And if you put up, a fund for TIFO, you're not going to always get how much you need. I get that. But I'm saying, like, I feel like the avenues in which to improve things are kind of not blocked, but foggy.
Yeah. Well, to bring up the TIFO point, and again, this is just my observation. You can throw money at a problem all you want, but there's a more valuable resource than money that is needed specifically to create something as massive and labor intensive as a TIFO, and it's time.
Well, and so for me, right, because I've painted TIFO before, it's a fucking process. It's an ordeal. I don't think we need giant ass TIFO every game like some people want. Like,
there's no way.
Or even like every few games. Like home opener, yes. Playoffs if we can, yes. I would love, and I've posted it, like little shit, man. Like how I've seen, like the picture I post all the time is like Boca Juniors. But I know teams in MLS have done it. I think Miami does it. I think Cincinnati does it. But literally it's just a long ass, like 3 foot by like 40 foot banner that's a singular color or like two colors and runs from like the overhang down to the front row, and you can do it along this, along the aisleways, or you can do it from like the back. Just little shit, like just brighten it up a little bit. But I mean, that's just splitting hairs and nitpicking. But I don't know. I think my entire point of this whole rant has been, as someone who constantly wants to help, it feels like the avenues to help are a little bit foggy. Not that they're not there, but it's confusing at times. Yeah,
you don't have enough badges to to use that Pokemon.
Yes.
So I want to bring up H-Man's point. Part of the problem, this is H-Man in chat. Part of the problem I feel is that the diehard supporters that are singing for 90 minutes stay very centrally. The edges end up falling away quickly in the chants. I think that's a completely fair point, especially when they took the outside sections to make them seated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's artificially, smaller.
Yeah.
The give a shit is smaller.
So here's the thing.
Just based on the available seating.
Here's the thing about that is the idea. Excuse me. The idea, and this was, again, outside of NSC. This was back in my MTSU supporter section days, whatever. The idea is you take some of your craziest, loudest people and you spread them around
Throughout.
and try to get people involved.
Yeah.
What that ends up creating, and I've been this person, it's awkward as fuck, is you get one Brian sitting on the edge, screaming, trying to get people excited, and they hate you. And then the one person who's usually in the middle feels awkward and stops. Right?
Yeah.
And I think the easier way to do this, and we've seen this happen, you look at the lead up and into Leagues Cup last year, is those middle two, and then kind of it expands a little bit into the next one. Those middle two and those the next couple rows outside are always going to be the loud, rowdiest people. But then as things get more and more exciting, games get more and more important, there's more of something to give a shit about. The remainder of those sections join in and sustain. For example, for the was it semifinal that we played Monterrey? Whenever we played Monterrey,
I couldn't tell you.
I got there late. I could not get there on time. When I showed up, there was nowhere to sit in the supporter section. My option was the back row, far left side, right? And it was the hypest I've ever seen that section get. The entire game. Non-stop, loud, jumping up and down, maniacs, right? It was not as crazy as the middle, but if you compared it to our normal game, it was like, the madness spread, right?
Right.
And I think that's just the nature of sports, and we see that across everything in Nashville. I mean, hell, the Preds are known for a good atmosphere for the NHL. If you go to a Preds game, a lot of it's contained to cell block 303 until you get to the playoffs. Then it's the entire stadium. So a lot of that is the people who are fanatical, who are crazy, fucking jumping up and down, screaming, whatever. They're going to be in that center. But the more and more, we have good results on the field and have that atmosphere grow, we'll get, that kind of dividing line will expand out and around the stadium.
Yeah. I have a thought. I don't think it's plausible with the way NSC has set up Geodis, but I was watching the SKC Seattle game and remembering the times that I've been to Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, and what they do is they have their main supporter section on one end zone, if you will, one goal line, and they have a smaller, maybe not full actual supporter section, but like they have like capos and shit on the other end line.
Yeah.
And with that being billed and marketed, and this is the family section, like I don't feel like there's a way that can happen.
No. And I know I've seen other teams do that to where I think Red Bull does that, where they have a supporter section
fans?
on either side of the They have a small no one in them supporter section on either side of the stadium. I think that amplifies how difficult it is to kind of unite everyone in the same chant, I don't know. And a lot of this is, one, I didn't have a lot to talk about today because there's no game, and we kind of fucking suck right now.
We can talk about how the U.S. got shit on.
Two, just throwing ideas out there, and not a lot of these aren't going to stick or even be listened to or used or whatever. But it's good to have a discussion in an open open forum and see what happens. I know for a fact, once I'm financially kind of back on my feet a little bit more, I'll be back at the games. There'll be one additional loud, stupid asshole in the crowd, and I fully intend on buying more flags. And if I have to pre-stage them myself, I am more than happy to do that. I've just been financially unable to.
Yeah, and I mean, H-Man brings up another really good point about how slow sound would travel in terms of echo and getting everybody on the same page for a chant. And it's a great point. It's true. But Brian also like leads me to the next point of having the conversation is really important, but we also can't fix anything here. So for me, for Brian, I'll be bold enough to try to speak for Brian on this.
How dare you?
If you give a shit enough, like hop in an SG, like get involved with your leadership, like don't just give a shit to us.
Yeah. And here's the thing is I know a lot of times there's life outside of this, right? A lot of times being in leadership or dealing with supporter section stuff is exhausting, hard, whatever, when it is outside of your scope of what you do, right? For example, I did the roadies social media. Was it last year before? Can't remember. I did it for a little bit, and then obviously I did stuff back in the MPSL days, but recently. On top of working for a social media agency and running 10 other accounts, where all day, every day, you're getting slapped with negative social media comments, and I'm not even talking about NSC. I'm talking about work shit, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like that wears you down. And then for me, I had to step away because it was like, if anything negative, which being at sports, it happens, came through, I'm like, I'm not getting paid to do this one. Well, I don't want to do this one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I get that shit's hard, and I get that's and that's why always be even if you have anything negative to say, always be grateful for the people in the SGs that step up and do this shit for free. But if you don't always have to give. You don't always have to give 110%. If you can help in any little tiny way, be it a $5 donation at a tailgate, or like I mentioned earlier, donating a 3x5 flag they can throw on a pole and someone gets to use it at the game, and it gets rid of the worry that flags are going to walk out of the stadium. Great, because they got another one because you donated one. Good job, buddy. Any little thing you can do is ideal.
Yeah.
And if you want to be the coach for this goddamn team, that'd be fucking sick too. We don't have one, and we need one. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't. Going back to the start of this shit, I have no clue where NSC is going, period.
I feel like this was H-Man, earlier, much earlier in chat. I'm not convinced that they have a coach in mind anymore. It's been almost a month. They just had a week off. If they had someone, they would have announced it.
It's also very possible they have someone and they're already kind of pulling some strings, but they don't have legal paperwork done, So
it could be like a visa issue or some shit.
Yeah. Like,
then they should use MasterCard. Yes. Fucking got him.
Oh, man. You suck. God damn it. All right. Who are we playing next week? I have no fucking clue. With the bye week and everything going on.
At Red Bull Saturday.
Okay.
They're having I'm intrigued by a club watch party for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because they're hosting it on the north side of the stadium with that big ass screen.
Ooh.
For 615 Day.
I might be at that then.
Because it's June 15th.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really I'm really tempted to go to that because I imagine it'll be like food trucks and just kind of like more expensive than I want it to be, but that's everything about this goddamn team. So
the league.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The whole theme of this is Brian doesn't know shit. And can we get a coach so I can see a direction, please?
Yeah.
My prediction is a 17-2 win. But the next game we will lose.
Well, the next game is away in Toronto, and they're going to be pissed that we beat them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and then so we'll get that 17-2 win, and then we'll lose like 2-0.
17-2.
Nah, we'll lose like 2-0.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had something I was about to say, and then you, Brian, a score prediction.
Whoopsie.
Tee. Yeah, the vibes are fucking gone, man.
The vibes
sign a coach.
The vibes were momentarily very back after that Cincinnati win, and it was a fun 4 days.
It wasn't even that. It was like 2 days because it was Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah, it was a fun 2 days. I had a great time. I had like 3 Cincinnati fans block me because they... Dude, my favorite fucking thing, and it's always so delicious when we beat Cincinnati and NSC fans are happy because we won, and they're like, "Oh, we can't see you all the way down there at the bottom of the table." And it's like, I don't know. If I was the second best team in the fucking league, I'd be embarrassed to lose to a team this low on the table. So I don't know if that's the burn you think it is, buddy. You know?
Yeah, no, that's completely true. What's something else we can bitch about? Oh, here we go. Taylor Twellman, you suck.
Oh, what'd he do?
And you're an unoriginal piece of shit.
What'd he do?
He stole between 2 posts.
Oh, I did see that. Well, to be fair, between 2 posts was between 2 ferns. So...
I know. But that at least like adapted the concept.
But we did it better.
Twellman is just stealing Dan Levitz's bit.
Yeah.
And he's not as funny as Dan.
Join us next week for our between 2 sound checks. John, come on down for between 2 sound checks, starring Zach Galifianakis.
Wow, I didn't think my beard looked that bad.
Yeah.
What's the Hot Ones thing? The show with hot questions and even hotter wings. Like,
John, come on down for some hot wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot ones, chicken. I don't fucking know. Try to make this as like bullshit as it could be.
Yeah.
H-Man, that's the most hurt. Like I feel about that the way Tactful does about Bruce Arena. Are we waiting for U.S. Soccer to fire Greg Berhalter before he's announced as the coach of Nashville SC? I would be very upset.
Look. Okay, I'm gonna make a statement here. Whoever we bring in, I am gonna give them their chance to make me mad. I'm gonna be the biggest,
or make you happy.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be whoever it is, even if I disagree with it. They haven't done anything here yet. They're coming into a fucked up situation. I'm gonna support them 100%, like I did Gary for the longest time.
Yeah.
So if it's Bruce Arena, sure. If it's Berhalter, sure. It's not going to be Berhalter, but you know what I'm saying.
It's not going to be Bruce Arena either.
There's still the one caveat to that is if it's Travis, I will refuse to show up to games.
If it's Travis, I'm chauffeuring him to fucking games. I don't care. If it's Travis, I better get on the fucking field.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
That's my hope.
Johnny,
that's my hope of them hiring Travis.
You got anything else for the people?
Anything else for the people? Join the Has Been Discord where we talk about shit.
Yeah, where I make real deep cut whitest kids you know references.
That was it. That blew my mind when I got that reference.
That's a great.
I was
video.
like, oh my god. We also don't just talk shit. We play shit. Video games. I'll say for me, Brian's better than me at a lot of things. You give yourself credit. H-Man is bitching about Mike, and I'm completely here for it.
John, we did win that Warzone match the other day entirely because of you. So, you just picked a good location, but you had one more kill than me, so entirely because of you.
Okay, I accept.
Okay, I think you had 5 and I had 4, and 3 of my 4 came in the last like 45 secards. So really, you carried us.
You got
there.
the last guy.
I got the last team.
who downed me.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason I got the entire last team was because I was on top of the boat that you took us to, just picking people out of the water. So, go John.
Go team.
Well, yeah. Thanks for those who jumped in, those who watch later. We'll be streaming again soon, and I don't know. Here's some Drake, I guess.
Stop. We're gonna get. Is this SoundCloud or was this?
This is SoundCloud. This is not copyrightable.
Okay.
Every single YouTuber is doing reactions to it. It's not if we're the first ones to get copyrighted for that, I would be
imagine
fucking shocked. Okay.